Katnat labor jong ka sarkar jala kadang thau yikilat kelinti da kumnu bakanla ha ka bakan a yaklat jingrap sekinong belasngi hadin bakilangat biang ha gejing namar kejing ha ban penjeri biang sasisien yaka khangdam kum chimta banyada yak jingwan ban saprang ha kasin kabar jong jimpang coronavirus ne covid-19 kani gejing pen kre ban a jingrap na kani katnat kansong na gejingla ka jongka bakan lom ban lang yak jingken jingdia parkin nong bala ke bala shakta hagni ka kenti ka menta yakani la itu du principal secretary labor u GHP Raju habai kren bat kilat patai khubor menta gasngi habai kren Raju la pente banak yang jongking bisa Supreme Court kal ajumut yakatnat labor bakadon kam bakin wat yakinong balasngi ki bakantop nado ki basong dejur dedo nong deso depai bat kiwe ki babu naki glamat sisa yak jinge hakalyang ka kamai ka ji ka ba man lagasngi ka jongki hadin bakal haban penjeri ya gajing kangdam nalo kata Raju la itu bahagani ka kenti ka bamanta omchim la don satya ki nong tray bar jala ki ba one tray hagani ki jala ki ban haban lai phaino shala ki jing ki sem ki jongki patnalo kata nakapor sa kapor katanat klayai beteng bakan budin ya ka jinglong ka jingman ka jongki kumat jupuk mau bahusne mobaladep ka Migla Building and Other Construction Workers Welfare Board katanat labor jong ka sarkar jala kalawan cha khamat bakan sam ya ka songi rap pisa ka bamar san hajar tingka ya ki nong tray bala ki baladep and register yilde pat hagani ka kenti ladon guma arfsan hajar ngut ki nong bala ki bala register hadu ka bala kot jong ubnai leber menta ka snap.
When it comes to the labor, we have the two main branches of the labor force in our state. One is the organized labor. These the laborers who are working in the factories, in the companies, in the registered agencies like the PWD. They are all the organized laborers. Second is the unorganized laborers. Maid servants, those who are working as the maid servants in the houses, the hawkers, the vegetable sellers, the fruit sellers, the fish and meat sellers. They are the unorganized laborers. Basically, they eke their livelihood on a daily basis. So we have when it comes to the COVID and the problems faced by the labor, the force of our state. Number one was the last year, the COVID, the phase 1, where in fact our government has recalled all our workforce who are working in other states. They're called the migrant workers. So our people, in search of the livelihood, they go to Tamil Nadu, they go to the Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, for hotel industry and for other the livelihood. So because of the lockdown last year, so the government has sent word to all our people who are working as a migrant laborers in other states. More or less around 2 lakh, the people returned. They are returnees. There are 2.5 lakh people returned to the state. That is the last year. That was phase 1 COVID. Out of that, how many were actually the laborers working outside? That data is mixed up with the returnees data. But however, what the government did at the time, Honorable the Chief Minister has allocated nearly 38 crores, roughly approximately 38 crores for immediate relief to the migrant laborers who came back to the state. So that scheme is called the CRAWL, CRAWL, that is immediate relief as 3 installments basically. It is a 700, 2,100 per family, per migrant laborer. So we have invited for the names, the bank account addresses. So that exercise. So what happened? The nearly out of 2.3 lakh applicants received last year, those who came back to the state, out of the 2.3 lakh approximately, only 1.8 lakh applicants, the bank accounts could be verified. Because money was not paid in cash. It has to be RTGS, bank to account, is account payee only. It's very, very clear. There was no physical payment to the beneficiary in the form of cash. No, not in the form of a kind. Like in some other states, they opened langars, the kitchens for the migrant workers, basically, like Delhi government, Maharashtra, they at the behest of the Supreme Court guidelines. the directive. In our state, it was basically not in kind but in cash. But in accounts verification, we have relied upon our NIC, the network, because online transaction, interlinking their name, Aadhaar number, and the bank account. So the banks we relied upon was our SBI and the HDFC bank accounts. Whatever the details our NIC gathered online portal from the migrant workers who came back to the state, 1,80,000 approximately, we released the amount to the banks to deposit in their accounts, 700, 1,400, 2,100, like that is 3 installments. The banks successfully transfer to the accounts of 1.4 lakh accounts roughly. Remaining 38 to 39,000 accounts, it was rejected. The bank system rejected because of the not tallying of the IFSC code, not tallying of the bank account holder's name with the bank account number given by him or her. So what happened? In some accounts, what happened? Only 700 got deposited. After that, the account refused to accept the next installments. So one NGO has brought this issue before the government that it was not paid. So factually we verified. The Labour Secretary, Mr. Bhupesh Hajong, a committee is constituted to go deeply into this entire matrix of ensuring the cash transfers to the accounts of those migrant laborers. That's the one. That was 2020, last year's. This entire episode is related to the last year. This exercise is still going on today. Last week, we again requested the bank authorities to transfer the balance amounts. Those who received 700, they are entitled for 1,400. Those who received 1,400 entitled for 7 more hundred. So we have sent 18,000 account holders after again re-verification of the defective bank accounts, roughly around 38,000. We sent back to the banks around 18,000. Out of that, they could succeed only the 3,000 accounts. The remaining 15,000, they said that the same technical problem, the IFSC code is problem, the account is inactive, account is not accepting. Still, the Secretary Labour Department is on the job. For next option is to send the labour inspectors to the addressee and verify whether the labourer is available or not. So that exercise is taking time. Roughly, we have to physically verify at least 16 to 17,000 accounts. So it's a huge exercise in a small city where the Labour Department has a limited staff. So it cannot be given to other agencies. So the labour inspectors has to take time and go and verify. The amount is there. The surprise thing is the government is very, very generous and kind to allocate the corpus fund well in time. The money is available. When technically it is not possible to deposit the money, neither the bank will help, nor the NIC, nor the Labour Department. The beneficiary has to come to the nearest Labour Inspector office of the district headquarters and claim. It will be transferred. That exercise is on. It is taking time. That was 2020. Still the verification and the transfer of the leftover amount is there. That amount is around 29 crores already transferred last year. The remaining 7 crores are with the Labour Department. Individual verification, the money will be transferred to the bank account. I again reiterate, there is no cash payment. Physical cash payment is not permissible. Everything is through bank accounts. Through our media friends, I would like to request all the laborers, whether it is organized sector laborer or unorganized sector laborer, including our housemaids or house servants or the vegetable sellers, kindly have an Aadhaar card. If you have an Aadhaar card and bank account number and a mobile number, there is excellent Government of India welfare schemes for the people below poverty line. So this scheme is called, what the Government of India looks at is called JAM. It's called JAM scheme. J stands for Janadhan Yojana account, that is zero balance account you please open. Then M for mobile number, A for Aadhaar number. The Government of India is requesting the beneficiaries to go for the Aadhaar number, linking the beneficiary with the bank account through the mobile. Mobile number is required because you will get the direct information from from the scheme manager or from the bank that such a money is deposited into your account. The information to the beneficiary. That is why mobile number is required. So Aadhaar number is required basically to deter or to eliminate the fictitious claimants. There is a lot of scope for misappropriation of the funds by fictitious elements if there is no Aadhaar. Our request is through the media, we request all the poor people, please take little initiative and get an Aadhaar number. That's for your own benefit. I request the NGOs also to educate and enlighten these poor people to have an Aadhaar number and bank account number. If these two are linked, there are so many schemes are available for the upliftment of this downtrodden, the poor people. The money will be directly transferred into their accounts. That is called the direct benefit transfer. Our crawl scheme is also comes under direct benefit transfer. So that's why we are not insisting that Aadhaar number is mandatory. No, but the Supreme Court has, Honorable Supreme Court has rightly, in fact, advised the beneficiaries, if it is any scheme, if you want to avail the benefits of the government scheme, please have an Aadhaar card number which facilitates for the easy identification of the beneficiaries. Through your media, through this social media and this, I beseech upon the NGOs, the Rangvashnons, the Nokma Council, to educate these poor people who are working in your houses as the maid servants, or educate your neighbors who is a vegetable seller or a fruit seller or the meat seller to have an Aadhaar number. I can assure you, once you have this JAN with you, you will get direct benefit from either from Government of India or from our government. Now coming to the COVID situation, phase 2, this is the second wave. We don't have any migrant, our people migrated to other states to come back, because this time by February, more or less none of our migrant laborers left Meghalaya, went back to their work in other states. So the inbound migrant workers belong to our state domiciles are nil. We are very, very closely monitoring, and we are in touch with any migrant laborer left Meghalaya that went to other states to come back. There is no such cases as of now in the phase 2. But however, what the Honorable Supreme Court has advised the labor departments, identify these daily wage earners, the vegetable sellers, the fruit sellers, the meat sellers. These are the daily wage earners. Because of this lockdown, intermittent lockdowns, they lost their livelihood basically. So our endeavor is to identify these unorganized laborers. So as of now, when we look at the hawkers list, this list is available with the other department like municipality department like. But there is no source of the authentic unorganized laborers data available as of now. So we requested all the field officers to take the help of the local DC and their staff to identify and enlist the unorganized laborers. So once the data is available, then we are very sure we will be in a position to help them. So that exercise has started regarding the phase 2. There is one more wing of the laborers who are registered with the Labour Commissioner Office of Shillong. This is called our construction and the building workers. There is a board. So the corpus fund is available with the board. The workers who are into construction or building activities, they have to get registered with the LC office, the Labour Commissioner's Office. So then they become there is a criteria for eligibility to get enrolled as a member of the board. So once you become active member of the board, you will be getting some benefits from the corpus fund maintained by the LC office.